Tinny from minibulldesign, and it's evening right now. It's 6:05. It's about 23 degrees out. It's been cold all day. I don't think it ever got up above freezing. And I just got back from the big city. We had to go there and do some shopping. Got that all done. Went out this morning and had a pretty good sized list of stuff to build for Beth to ship. Because of the backup, because of the holidays and stuff, I think we shipped roughly 30 boxes today we shipped out, so it was busy. Then I set out building and got that all done. Now, I'm trying to, or I've wanted to get into the what I call high-end stove business again. I used to sell some pretty exotic stoves that were fairly expensive and difficult to build, and I kind of got out of that. I think I kind of got maybe a little bit lazy because they're fairly hard to build, and I just didn't want to mess with them anymore. I mean, my thought was, why spend 2 hours building a stove that sells for $100 when in that same 2 hours you can build 8 of them that sell for $25 or $30? And it's a lot easier work. But I have gotten back into the high-end stoves a little bit now, and my first offering is the Bongo Pro 4 with the legs. Now that stove is quite a bit easier to build now because I've changed the style of the base, and I'm using quite a bit superior tooling now, end mills and things like that. And I have a few more tools to work with. Having 3 milling machines, a small one and 2 large ones, I can set one up just to drill the leg holes, tilt the head over, put it right in a rotary table where I have complete control. I can have another one where I'm just routing out the big part of the bottom, and yet the third one set up just to mill out for the opening for the nipple. So I've got all 3 machines set up, and I can just go from one to the other. I don't have to tear down and reset. And that makes it quite a bit easier. Having a center cut end mills, tin coated, nice high quality end mills, and a little more experience than I had before helps too. So I'm able to make the stoves a little easier than it used to be. But anyway, I put them in the store, and they've immediately sold out as soon as I put in. So I guess I'm back in the high-end stove market. Just like that. Now, the stove that I put in there today, I didn't put it in until this afternoon. It only lasted, I think, a couple hours before somebody bought it. That stove has an experimental top on it. So let me tell you about this. This is a story in itself, and like so many things, like the guy that invented super glue, he wasn't, when he invented super glue, he wasn't even trying to invent glue. He was trying to invent a type of plastic, and one of the byproducts turned out to be super glue. Stop and think about it. I think everybody in the world uses super glue. You think about it. What did we do before super glue? I mean, it's like apple pie. I mean, baseball and apple pie. It's American. Super glue. Very versatile. Well, this isn't that versatile, but it's along the same lines. I didn't set out to come up with this top. What I set out to do was the Bongo Pro 4 doesn't have a way to collect the alcohol if you overfill the stove in the bottom. It's open. So I thought, well, since my stoves are modular and I can put anything for a top on them that I want to, that's a real strong point of my stove, being able to, if I come up with a new top design, which is basically the most important part of the stove, and you've got an old one, you can have an old bongo, by the top snaps right on. They've all got the 3/4, 1 inch silicone, so it'll snap on to anything, as long as it's a bottom feed, and you got to go back quite a ways before you get to top feed. So anyway, I built this top, and before I go any further, I've got some close-up pictures of it. Let's look at the pictures. Okay, now that you've seen it, you can see that you have a wick on top, just an M2 wick, not a big wick. And then you have about 1/4 of an inch of thin aluminum, and this wick is setting on a shelf. It's a little wider, and then it chokes in and goes down. Then it opens back up again with a trough to catch the alcohol if you overfill the stove. And that's exactly what I set out to do, and it works great. It captures any alcohol that spills over the wick if you overfill it. So, I put it on the stove, put it on an original bongo, and fired it up, and overfilled it to see, how it worked. And it worked great. But after about 20-30 seconds, I was running it with a 5x23 5-loop pot stand, 2.5 inches high, with a 12-centimeter Amusa pot, and I looked, and the flames were going right up the side of the pot. Holy cow! And the water in that pot, it didn't know what to do. It wanted to get out of the pot. It was beyond a hard boil. It was just going nuts. It didn't know where to go. It looked like white water. So eventually I went over and turned I was feeding it on an SS remote. I turned the SS remote upside down, shut the heat off, shut the alcohol off, and thought, well, nobody's going to want that. That's insanity. I can't sell that. Threw it up on the shelf and walked away. So a couple days went by, and I got thinking about it. There are some people that would use a top that hot. And if you don't feed it all it'll take, if you keep the alcohol down on the stove, it's not that hot. It doesn't get hot till the alcohol gets right up towards the top here and starts soaking the donut wick. Then it gets hot. So I thought, well, maybe there is a market for that. So anyway, I've put it in one stove, and I'll probably put it in a few more stoves, and I want people to give me the feedback once they have it. And I want to explain to you how it works. Because this has a shelf and everything, it's a lot deeper than a regular top, so there's a lot more aluminum. There's 3/4 of an inch of aluminum when you look down through it that comes in contact with the center wick. 3/4 of an inch. Now, when this top wick gets soaked with alcohol and starts burning, it burns all the way down underneath because it's sitting on a very narrow shelf, which transfers heat right to this little tray that catches the alcohol. And that tray gets hot. Well, when that tray gets hot, of course, the whole top gets hot. So that means you've got 3/4 of an inch of aluminum all the way around, touching right on the center wick. And it's boiling the alcohol on the center wick, just on the top, not in the base. And when that starts boiling that alcohol, it really starts vaporizing and burning fast. And the faster it burns, the hotter it gets. And the hotter it gets, the faster it burns. And you can take I'm used to 12-centimeter pot and just wrap the flames right up around it if you want to keep feeding it. What you use is some alcohol. You put an SS remote on it, put it up high enough so it's flooding the donut. You can watch it bloop, 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 bloop. She's cooking with gas on the front burner. So anyway, it's a novelty top. I don't recommend it for anything other than a novelty at this time, but as people use it and learn how, all its characteristics, it may find a market, but right now it's just it's got the cool factor going. So eventually I'll have this in the store for everybody, but right now I'm just going to put it on a few stoves and let people try it out and give me some feedback. Now, today I was fairly busy. Let's see if I can get this name right. I built 2 complete squirrel cages with M2 SBs and the 12-centimeter pots with the cut-down pots and the baking rings and the windscreens and all of that for the squirrel cages, for 2 complete baking kits with squirrel cages for Martin Tilly, I believe. Martin Tilly. Thanks, Martin. That's a gentleman that sent me all the tooling, and those kits are what I'm paying him with for the tooling. And I think it's about a fair deal. It's about, with everything he got, it's about $300, and I think I probably got $300 worth of tooling. So it was a good deal all the way around for everybody, and I hope he enjoys the stoves. So, Martin, thanks a lot. I had some other custom orders to put out today too, and I'd like to thank my really dyed-in-the-wool hardcore customers for setting off this high-end stove project right away. The people that bought these high-end stoves are customers that have been loyal customers for many years. I recognize their name right away. Richard and Jerry. Thanks, guys. And I also have another customer who is sending me, he has two of them, and he's going to send me one of them, a BioLite wood stove with the electric cell on the back, thermoelectric cell that when you build a fire in it, the heat generates electricity which runs a fan and blows air up through it, and it also has enough extra electricity that you can plug in and charge your cell phone off of it. Kind of cool. Looking forward to that. So I think that's everything I want to say for this video. I'm Tinny from minibulldesign. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, try to have a really great day and try to take some time out to have some fun today. You deserve it. Bye-bye.